Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. I know that we are just starting to wrap up our first week of Season 2 endgame content for 11.1, but apparently they got a lot more stuff and a lot more content cooking on the horizon, with even more changes for the patch 11.15, even 11.17 that's currently in the internal testing phase, but also rumorings of 11.2 as well. And it looks like all of this content will be likely arriving very soon, as 11.15 might be just around the corner, with 11.15 being mostly a quality of life patch that not only adds a couple of new things in terms of open world content and instant content, but also a ton of cosmetics for players to collect, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent catch-up patch that's adding convenience and good features for players in the community. Whether you're looking to level a brand new character, catch up very quickly, catch up on old expansion rewards, or potentially revamp your guild heading forward. And I wanted to talk about these 5 new quality of life improvements so far found with the patch 11.15, and we'll likely discover even more little changes and updates as we continue our way through the PTR testing over these next few weeks. As always, if you guys want to get more regular updates for the patch 11.1 Season 2 content, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. So one of the things about the patch 11.15 actually is the fact that it might be arriving a lot sooner than we expected. As part of the new update, or the upcoming update, there's going to be a bunch of new holidays, specific holidays within the calendar, with Children's Week, Horrific Vision, Season 2 updates, and more. But Children's Week being specifically marked in the calendar is quite interesting, because it means that the patch is likely coming out sometime in April, likely before April 28th, because that is when the Children's Week is going to be available. So all of these upcoming quality of life improvements actually might be arriving much sooner than expected. One of these improvements is going to be a brand new buff that will help your characters get some boost in EXP, but also a variety of different rep bonuses with the Winds of Mysterious Fortune. The buff actually was on this paladin earlier, but it disappeared, but you can see that it's coming out as a Winds Fortune buff in What's New, a new leveling bonus that includes experience, rep, and loot gains. And on my priest character, while I still have the buff, you see that the Winds provides 20% more experience gains for players between levels 10 and 80. So leveling a brand new character, plus together with some of the warband bonuses, which go up to 25% more XP, making your leveling at minimum about 55%. This also can stack up with other holiday updates like Darkmoon Fair event, for example, or any other holidays that grant XP buffs, XP potions from BFA, and other bonuses. So this could be quite good as a leveling opportunity. Not only do you get additional levels, but also quite a bit of rep gains. 200% more rep with the Dragonflight factions. If you're someone who's still working on some of those achievements and rewards for the Dragonflight expansion, then this could be a perfect opportunity to combine this buff with that faction's renown grinds, or just level a character while playing through those through that expansion specifically, in order to start working on some of the reps needed for all those renowns while getting a brand new character up and running. But you also get 100% more rep for the War Within factions as well. So if you're still for some reason behind the Council of Dornogal, Assembly of Deeps, the Hollowfall Arathi, or maybe even the Cartels of Undermine, which on this character doesn't show up, but on a live character that would be part of the War Within factions, that would mean that you'll be able to get through the Renown grind in Undermine a little bit easier. That means you'll be able to get all the bonuses very quickly, including some of the crafted bonuses towards the tail end of those factions, to be able to craft even more quests in order to be able to craft more items to get your characters prepped and ready, or even all to get caught up for Season 2, which is a nice bonus. There's also an additional bonus to this buff, it's quite a long one, where quests and kills within the Dragon Isles and Kaz Algar have a chance to reward you mysterious satchels, which apparently scale with quality. Right now the data mine like a green, blue, and purple epic version of these satchels, so the rewards potentially are better depending on the quality of satchels that you get, that allow you to gain a bunch of equipment, cosmetics, and even combat and experience potions. Based on data mining, it looks like we'll have potions that increase movement speed, potentially haste, maximum health regen out of combat, but also combat potions to deal fire damage to enemies, a chance to stun our enemies, slow them, or even apply some sort of tremor AoE damage if the enemy moves around while affected by maybe a debuffing potion. Right now we can't really test any of these potions on the PTR, And it does make you wonder if these will be usable, potentially, when it comes to endgame content. Doubt it. It seems just like a nice little buff for you to use while out in the open world, potentially. But it could be interesting if that is meant to be maybe one of those catch-up benefits to soften some of the raids and dungeons. Players farm up these potions and then take them into endgame content, maybe outside of PvP. We will see how that progresses on the PTR, but there's some potential for either nice rewards as you level on a character, or possibly just a nice little power boost with an endgame. We'll see exactly how that functions. As for XP potions, we haven't been able to find any over in a data mine or on PTR so far, but it does seem like a very nice buff focused on catching up, and 11.15 might be a fantastic catch-up patch overall. Besides this, we also got other conveniences such as the Shadowlands rep being finally warbound. Not all the reputations from older expansions are warbound. Well, within are warbound, Dragonflight reps are all warbound, Shadowlands, Battle for Azeroth, Legion, all of those older expansions haven't quite made it into warbound section, but they promise that they want to eventually get them all warbound at some point in the future, though it will take some time on their end, on the back end, to get them to that state over time. And Shadowlands finally gets to hit that state in 11.15, where all of the major factions can now be shared amongst all of your characters. This, however, does not include renown levels for these factions, because renown kind of function like part of the power player progression of that expansion, since there were so many abilities and passives and legendaries and other effects all tied with renown and how that functions for that expansion. So renowns are not quite warbound, but all the other reps will be warbound, which means if you got them exalted on any one of your characters, then you can use any one of your ults to collect the rewards. This is also fantastic because the warbound rep thing is actually something the community has been looking forward to, especially for some of the older reputations. Maybe you played one main during Wrath of Lich King, and then at some point you switched your main for Miss Pandaria along the way, so now you have one character that has a bunch of reps exalted while another character has a bunch of reps exalted. So it would be kind of nice to combine them all together under one account, and that is something they're doing at least for one more expansion. Another bonus coming out in 11.15 is some of the currencies that are being made warbound. It's another expansion on adding more expansion currencies and items in order to allow you to be able to transfer them across multiple characters. Battle for Azeroth and the expansion of Shadowlands are also the focus this time around. For Battle for Azeroth, they're actually making a bunch of these warbound and transferable, from Coalescing Visions, Corrupted Mementos, Echoes of Nyalotha, Prismatic Mana Pearls, which are great, especially if you're still doing the BFA Zone Completionist Amount reward for Johnny. There was a couple of quests where you really needed a lot of Prismatic Mana Pearls. Otherwise, you had to farm them, but now you can just transfer them over. And in Shadowlands, there's only one currency that they made transferable, which is Stygia, which is helpful, as most of the other currencies are transferable. The one I was hoping they would make transferable is Anima. Technically, there's a vendor, and you could do this Anima loop to convert Anima into an item, put it in your bank, pick it up on your old character, add the Anima to your character. It just takes a little too long. Would have loved to see, out of all the different currencies, the Reservoir Anima be something that is transferable across all characters as much as you want to, while still maybe keeping that same vendor without changing that entire system. 11.15 is also, as part of it being a catch-up patch, will also give players quite a bit of gear. I spent a little bit of time recently checking out the new, or I guess the return of Visions of Nyalotha, or rather the horrific visions, which are making a return as part of 11.15 content, allowing players to revisit them all over again. But also checking out some of the new Arathi faction rewards, as well as the reputation and the event with the Flames Radiance, which basically both offer players quite a few cosmetics, but also a lot of catch-up gear as well. After you're done leveling a character in 11.15, you're looking to get them geared as quickly as possible. Both the Flame Radiance Arathi faction as well as the Visions offer players an opportunity to get a lot of veteran track gear, champion track gear, and even hero track gear just for experiencing the content, which is a nice bonus. So you either have instance content that you could do as a solo player if you want to, or open world activities that you could do with a number of players defending Arathi from the Ashka-head forces, or at least a portion of the Nerubian forces, the ones that we didn't kick out out of the Neurobar Palace, which gives players plenty of opportunity to not only earn a bunch of cosmetics, rewards, mounts, and all the other collectibles, but also an ability to gear out their characters, with champion track gear being basically equivalent to Liberation of Undermine normal raid gear quality, allowing you an even easier time to be able to start catching up your character, getting gear, but also a variety of different currencies to upgrade those items in order to be able to get your characters caught up to jump into the Season 2 of Undermine on a fresh new character if you just stopping by, or on a brand new ult if you're trying to look for a fresh new experience. The last convenience feature is actually going to affect the number of players, but if you're someone who is running a guild, you'll actually be able to change the name of your guild once a year. Normally, this is an in-game shop service that you have to purchase in order to be able to make changes to your guild, and to change the name of a guild is something you usually have to buy with real money. But they're actually adding a feature where if, let's say, you had a guild for a year, as of the patch 11.15, you can then use gold once a year to rename that guild. To me, this is actually exciting for multiple reasons. If you're someone who has an active guild right now, but you were thinking of maybe changing up the name, rebranding a little bit, now could be a perfect opportunity as of 11.15. Or let's say you're looking to resurrect an old guild name, that could be a perfect opportunity to change the name of that guild to give it that kickstart to rebrand it completely. I think it's also really cool the fact that it's normally what is a shop feature that's being made available for guild leaders in game. I think it's really interesting to see, and it's also very player friendly, and I'm a big fan of changes like these, and I wonder if we'll see more updates like that in the future. But as always though, I don't want to thank all of you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy this update. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like. I would very much appreciate it. Join our this community to go over all of the newest class changes, revamps, and all those things, and likely a lot more patch changes and class tuning that's going to be arriving over the next few weeks as of the patch 11.1 Season 2 content. Also, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in our next one.